What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Seez Monroe Show. I am your host, and today we're here to talk about Monkey Man. So this is a full disclaimer. I might pop up with a couple spoilers here and there, but in all honesty, this is a revenge flick, so I don't think it really matters that much. Do you really care about John Wick's storyline? Do we even know how we got to 4? Not really, right? We don't care, so you shouldn't care here. So this film starts with the story of Hanuman, and which is kind of crazy because honestly, now I understand in the first Black Panther film who M'Baku was praising when he was able to fight T'Challa. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna get back to that. But the story goes that it was Hanuman. He was gifted with all these powers, or not powers, abilities, and he wasn't supposed to eat this juicy mango that was in the sky. So he jumped, but he did it anyway. So he jumped and bit the mango, only to realize that the mango was the sun. Now, the thing that threw me off about this, which is, first off, that's dope. Like, I never even heard this before. But it reminds me of the Adam and Eve story, but more towards Adam with the storyline. So I like how, you just learn new things. And as far as Hanuman, in the Black Panther situation, when M'Baku was able to fight T'Challa, he said, "Praise be to Hanuman." And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But now, seeing this film, I understand. And I was like, that just opened up a whole nother world to me. And I don't think people ever thought into that at all. And again, Black Panther was more than just a film. It actually had a lot of cultures in there. It was very educational at times, and we just didn't see it. Just like this moment here. Like, that movie came out, 2018? We're in 2024, that's 6 years later, and I'm just now finding out exactly who he was praising at the beginning of Black Panther. So that's kind of dope. Either way, so Hanuman is this character, and they're calling him Monkey Man, and that's where our main protagonist gets what he identifies as far as like where he gets his persona from. That's the word I was looking for, persona. As he's fighting in the ring, like, you can tell that something's going on, and we've seen this before. We've heard the stories, especially with boxing, people taking falls. So you can see that he's taking a fall. Later on, he didn't get paid for taking that fall. And I just kind of thought that this was going to be one of those fight movies, just action-packed with no need for a storyline. But it got in deeper, it went in more. And later on, you see that this kid is selling our main protagonist this information about this lady. You're wondering why, you don't know what's going on. But as you can see later on, that it's the lady, and she owns a brothel. But it's in India, so it's more high standards. Like, it's a multi-million-dollar brothel. Like, all the big wigs are going to this brothel type deal. So it's a little bit different in that regard. And later on, you don't understand why he's doing this until you get more into the story. Long story short, long story less long. I'm not going to drag this on for too long, but that lady works for the guy that ended up having his mother killed indirectly. So technically, one of the officers kills his mother, but it's because they need this land to build buildings on. This sounds too familiar, doesn't it? They need this land to start these businesses with, and they need these people off the land. The people that's been living there for years, they just need them gone. So they start fires and do all this other stuff, and at the end, his mother ends up getting killed in the film. So he's out for revenge. As you see him going through these phases, you can kind of tell that, all right, he's not really trained. He's just doing this because he was set out to one mission and that was the thing. But as he's going on this mission, he's following into other situations and finding out more and more about this organization. And it kind of leads to him getting whooped and he's down on his luck. He's one of those characters that's down on his luck. This is typical movie stuff, guys. We're used to this. But then he's saved by this like underground league of transgenders, right? I'm not making this up. Watch the movie. And I think that's why this movie isn't being pushed as much as it needs to be pushed. Side note, because I see this being a thing as far as like, we're, as far as a country, we're a little sketchy when it comes to the LGBTQ community. And I feel like that's why this movie isn't being pushed right now. But getting back to the transgender, the underground transgender league, or whatever they consider themselves, they later on help him find himself. And again, more dope stuff that I looked up. There's a scene where he's like opening up his chest because Hanuman was one of the things, like one of the pictures of him is depicting him opening up his chest. And again, I thought that was dope. It's just information that I'm just finding out like literally today. So this is just dope information. Later on, he finds himself, and now he's more in tune. He's more of a soldier now, so he goes in and pretty much wreaks havoc. And all these soldiers are coming out of everywhere. And then the league, the underground league I'm telling you guys about, comes in and helps him. And again, on paper, I know this didn't look well, but in this film, it worked. It absolutely worked. I was shocked. It was phenomenal what they did. Now, could people say that there's agendas being pushed? Possibility. But in all reality, we've been on this planet. I've been on this planet for 30 plus years. We know that transgender people exist. Sometimes a little representation doesn't hurt. And I feel like that's what was going on here. Like, did it need to be transgenders there? No, but why not? It worked. And it worked to the point of, I feel like they made the movie better in this scene. Again, it was something that came out of left field, something you're not expecting, and I felt like they did a great job with it. This film was action-packed. The storytelling was good. In all honesty, I'm gonna give this movie a 7.7 out of 10. I wanted to give it an 8. I just feel like the rewatchability isn't there. And the reason why I don't think it's there is because it's a little long. And again, we're going to a brothel, so I wouldn't say that it's one of those films that, it's not one of those rated R films that you're okay with showing your kids right now. Because again, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of situations happening during those brothel scenes that you might not want children to see. And I'm saying this because I have children. I want people to understand, like, this is not one of those. Like, I allow my kids to watch R-rated films, the John Wicks, the Blades of the world. It's just when it gets to the sexual stuff, one scene here and there, cool, but there was a lot going on because, again, this took place in a brothel most of the time. So I want you guys to know that it's R, it's a hard R. It's action-packed and it's very gory at its core. Like there's times where he's getting stabbed through the hand and through the chest and in the stomach, and it's very gory. And I can deal without the gore, but I think it was a necessity for this film. Again, it was a great film. I think you guys should definitely go see it. One thing, another thing that had me go away from the 8.5 rating was the music. The music was good. It just was placed in the wrong places at times. Like, you heard Rick Ross, The Devil Is a Lie, and everyone knows that Rick Ross is like one of my favorite artists. So you hear Rick Ross, The Devil Is a Lie playing, but I feel like it would have had more of an impact in another scene, and just where they started the song in the film. I just feel like, well, not started the song in the film, but where they started the song, like it was the intro of the song going into the song versus in the heart of the song, and it didn't work. So I'm not gonna say it didn't work. It could have been better, and that was my gripe with it. Especially, again, one of my favorite artists. Action is one of my favorite genres, and when they put these things together, I think it should have been flawless. But again, we're dealing with a $10 million budget, and for $10 million, this film, they did a phenomenal job. Kudos to them. Again, I have no gripe with it besides those little things that people are not even going to notice going to see it. So you guys should definitely go check it out this weekend. Let me know if you're seeing it this weekend. Let me know what you think of it when you do see it. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. See you next week. Peace.